Google Forms. In this video, you'll learn how to create a Google form and how to add, edit question types. Hey there. So now that we have talked about Drive and Docs, let's talk about another Google app I love called Google Forms. I told you in the intro apps lecture about Google Forms, but now we're actually going to walk through it. You did submit already your Gmail address for the course contact requirement assignment. You had to submit your Gmail and your Twitter handle, and then also verify that you signed up for Remind. I created that all inside Google Forms, and it took less than 2 seconds. And I literally have a Google form for everything, as you can see. Basically anything you can think of, I made a form for, including, excuse me, my children's chores. So they actually have a different Google form for every day, and it's a little bit crazy now with the scheduling. But he can go in there every day and mark off what he's actually done. So it makes it very handy to collect information from anybody, and you can even make self-grading quizzes inside of here. So let's get started. The first thing on the Google Skills checklist for forms is create a Google form. So if you go to forms.google.com, it will bring you to your main Google Forms page. You have templates up here, but let's just start from blank. So you go to the multicolored plus sign, hit that, and then it creates a blank form. You can go up here and change your color scheme. You can choose a header image. I'm just going to pull one off there. And you'll see that when you choose a header image, it's actually really cool. It pulls those custom colors out of the image and uses it for your form. So you can see right here, they call them theme colors. And I can change this and customize it if I want, whatever I'd like to do. And these are all colors that it actually pulled out of this header image. So, of course, title your form. I can't type today. So, fill out this fake form. So there's your directions, your header and your directions. And then the next thing on here is add, edit different question types. So it automatically defaults and gives you one question. You type in whatever your question is here. So let's say first name. And you'll see it auto defaults right over here when I put in first name. Google knows that that should be a short answer. Somebody's going to be putting in some characters to signify their first name. So I can hit the plus button, add another question, last name. And if I hit tab to get out of the field where I typed in the question, it auto chooses short answer again. Let's see. So right now, it auto chose short answer, but that's not really what I want because I want to make sure everybody types it in the same. When you're using forms to collect data, the less open-ended questions you have, the more likely you're going to have uniform data. So instead, I would personally choose to build a drop-down box, 1990, 1991, 1992. So if I go up here to the preview, little eyeball at the top right, I hit preview, you'll see because I chose drop down menu, I can only choose from these options. Okay. And I like drop down because it condenses it. It's one of my favorite options, but you also have check boxes and they can go in there and put a check next to it. If you look at this, that means, though, that they can check off more than one box. So you would not use check boxes if there's only one answer that you're seeking from them. And then also it has multiple choice. And if we set this as a multiple choice, this is what it would look like, but it would only let you choose one answer. I personally like drop down just because it's condensed. Multiple choice is going to list every single option, but that that's an aesthetics thing. For me, I just prefer drop down for most things. But you can choose what you want. So let's look at the options for question types. You have short answer, which is just going to be a certain number of characters. You have paragraphs, so that you can go in there and write whatever you want. It's multiple paragraphs. Multiple choice is going to be just like I showed you, where it's got all the choices listed out, and you can only pick one. Checkbox lets you choose more than one answer. Drop down lets you choose only one answer, and it's condensed. File upload actually lets the person filling out the form, they can upload certain files. So I have used this when I've done forms for field experiences. So an evaluator can go in there and they can evaluate the field experience inside of the form, and then they can attach the lesson plan that the teacher candidate taught from as evidence inside the form. Linear scale, that's like a Likert scale. So think of it as, strongly agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. So that's a Likert scale. So it would actually be a linear scale, and you can specify what numbers you want it to go up to. But you can only label the very beginning and the very end. So you need to really consider what inside of those numbers, how you would designate what that should be, so you're getting kind of uniform data. So let's look at what this question would actually look like. Today's a great day, 1 through 9. Strongly agree, strongly disagree. Obviously, most people put a bigger number as the more agreeable, so I could easily go in there and switch that out if I so desire. So let's make another one. Look at some more options. So a multiple choice grid would give you an actual grid. So let's look row 1, row 2. So let's look at what this actually looks like. So here is your grid right here. Now, pay really close attention. It will let me select multiple in a column, so up and down, but not multiple in the row. So only one answer can be selected for row 1, only one answer can be selected for row 2, but the same column can be selected over and over again. And then you also have the option of a checkbox grid. So let's see what that looks like real quick. So this lets you select as many as you want for as many rows and columns. If you have more than one answer in the row, that's what you want to choose. So that shows you there's a lot of variability in your options inside of forms, what kind of questions you can create, what kind of data you will get out of it. It also has a date and time option if you want. I've used that when we're doing observations so that I can find out what day they did the observation on.